And one day somebody put us together. It's 6 o'clock in the afternoon at the old boy offices. And we sat there for an hour looking at each other, couldn't get anything going. He said, this is a true story. He said, you want to go and get something to eat? I said, yeah, let's do that. So we went to Mario's, ordered a steak each, and we got a nice bottle of wine. And he's chewing away on a piece of steak and lifts his glass up, takes a swig, and he says to me, I love songwriting.
All right, ladies and gents, gather round, gather round. We got value going once, truth going twice. Sold for a song. That's right, folks. Rights signed away, data given away, pennies on the play. Publishing, gone. Credit, missing. Ownership, kiss it goodbye. 50 pages of catch-22s, no dice. You can't eat a like, a follow, or a view. Sold for a song. But wait now, hold your bits, hold your breath. Here comes the truth louder than the bass line. Time to take it back, where the artists rise, the system shakes, and the silence finally breaks.
Welcome to Sold for a Song, the transformative podcast that dissects the music industry's long-standing practice of undervaluing its most essential contributors. Yes, we're talking songwriters and artists. In each episode, we'll delve into the journey of recognizing and elevating the true worth and value of music creators, discover how the industry has exploited creators, and learn actionable strategies to revolutionize this trend and take control of your career. Hello, podcast land. I'm Terrance Sawchuk, but you can call me Terry. After 30 plus years in the trenches of the music industry, trust me, I've seen it all. The highs, the heartbreaks, and the resilience it takes to succeed as a creator. Here's what I've learned. Awakening your self-worth, owning and leveraging your value, and streamlining the process to free up the time we need to do what we most love to do, which is create. That's what stands between you and the freedom we're all chasing. All right, before we dive in, if you believe in empowering artists and redefining what it means to thrive creatively, do me a favor, subscribe, leave a quick review, and share this episode with someone who truly needs it. That one click helps more than you know. And if you want to go deeper, join me at terrancesawchuk.com to be a part of the community and follow all of my endeavors for exclusive content and updates. Yeah, I had a mentor I worked with, name of Arnold Lanny, back in the day, and he said something quite poignant, where he said the easiest thing you'll ever do in this music business is sign a major recording contract. And I thought he was insane. I said, God, that's got to be the hardest thing, until I signed a major recording contract with A&M Universal. And then I was dropped within 12 months. And he was right. Like one of the easiest accomplishments I've ever had in my career was securing a major recording contract. Holding on to it was the and Bono from U2 said that. He said the easiest thing he ever accomplished was, becoming famous and successful. The hardest challenge of his career was maintaining it.
Wow. I heard that Edge and Bono walked into a bar once. The bartender said, "Not you two again."
Do you remember that pub down in Edge Hill? There was an old, when I first moved here, oh, this is a crazy story. So I walk into this pub. The pub's gone now. And I was just new in town. And I walked into that pub, and there was some kind of crooner singing.
The Idle Hour.
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay. And the owner was the bartender.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. So I walk in, and it was weird because there was some kind of crooner music playing. And here I was in town looking for songs for a crooner, but a modern day crooner, Sinatra, Matt Dusk. And I thought, well, this is kind of weird. So I sat at the bar and ordered Guinness or whatever and started shooting the breeze with him. Well, and here we are in Nashville. Everybody's a songwriter. Everybody's got a story. This is the old Nashville. Now I don't recognize anybody in town. So he says, oh, this is a buddy of mine. It's his independent record. And I just like, I miss him. So I like playing it when I'm here at work. And I said, oh, where is he from? Or what's his story? Oh, he's from Northern Ontario, Canada. I said, that's where I'm from. He said, yeah, North Bay. I'm like, that's like 4 hours from my house. I said, you got to be kidding me, or 2 hours rather. And so we got chatting. Well, he was the bass player for Roy Orbison.
Wow.
So then he starts telling me the stories about opening for the Beatles in England and how the Beatles didn't want to go on tour anymore or something, and said, the only way we'll go on tour is if Roy Orbison comes with us. That's the only way we'll do it. So they had to get him. So they flew them over. And on the plane, Roy forgot his regular glasses. And
he needed those.
And he needed some glasses. So somebody got him these crazy looking big things when he got to Europe. So he says, okay, I'll have to wear these kind of things. And it just became such a gimmick. He just kept wearing them, but he just lost them on the plane. That was the story.
Wow.
But Bono rolled up in a limo. That was why I brought that up. Bono rolled up in a limo. Of course, one of the only places you can get a Guinness in Music City. One day Bono rolled up and gets out of a limo and says, can I get a Guinness to go? And he said, no, you're not getting a Guinness to go. I'll lose my license. He goes, I'm Bono from U2. I'm here with a limo. I'm doing a concert. I just want a nice pint of... No. He sent him away without a pint.
Oh, dear. That's a claim to fame right there. Told Bono no. Yeah, isn't that something? I never took the Guinness over much. I like Smethwick's.
Oh, I love...
Now, when I'm in Ireland, I'll drink Guinness. It tastes different there.
That's what I hear.
A little lighter and just more drinkable.
Oh, it's lighter. Interesting.
Yeah, it's just a little lighter.
Oh, I would have thought the opposite. But Smithwick's and Kilkenny.
Yeah, Kilkenny. What's the old speckled hen? There's a beer made here called Black Abbey, which is really good.
I haven't had that, but
I
I've heard
really
of it.
like it. You can't get it everywhere. You can get it at Brown's Diner now, which is really neat.
I can't believe Brown's Diner is still there. I mean, isn't that where you first met John
It's
Prine?
there stronger than ever, yeah. Yeah, it was. And John introduced himself. I'd heard about him from his then girlfriend called Rachel Peer. And she said, you'd like John, you ought to meet up with John. And one day, yes, we were at Brown's Diner, and I was sat next to him. He said, you're Roger. I said, yeah. He said, I'm John. Oh, John, great. And I was a fan of the song, There's a Hole in Daddy's Arm Where All the Money Goes, Sam Stone.
Wow.
So I thought, wow, I'm meeting a great writer. And we became fast, furious friends. I was separated from my wife at the time, and I was kind of running around loose and having fun. And so was he. So we ended up just running around town for years,
You guys wrote some great songs together.
We did write some good ones together, yeah. We had a couple of number ones, which is unusual for John to have a number one record. I mean, all his songs are famous, but they weren't recorded as number one songs,
Yeah.
But he and I had a couple, with George Strait and Don Williams. We used to sit up and write 11 o'clock at night. That's when we'd start writing.
Oh, my God.
And one day somebody put us together. It's 6 o'clock in the afternoon at the old boy offices. And we sat there for an hour looking at each other. Couldn't get anything going. He said, this is a true story. He said, you want to go and get something to eat? I said, yeah, let's do that. So we went to Mario's, ordered a steak each, and we got a nice bottle of wine. And he's chewing away on a piece of steak and lifts his glass up, takes a swig, and he says to me, I love songwriting. He would say the funniest things just off the top of his head sometimes.
Well, that really is a lot of times songwriting sessions in Nashville where it's like you get the idea as soon as you leave the room. You go for lunch or you do this or you go for a beer instead, and that's when back when I was had the pleasure of working with Alanis Morissette during the whole Jagged Little Pill time, it was the same thing. We would sit there trying to beat the hell out of a poor song and let's take a break. And we were in her apartment in Toronto, and she always liked making something, that was considered healthy to me. It would be a pasta and tuna fish or broccoli or something like that. And we'd sit down and have lunchtime. Then we'd just start talking. And it was like, the term she came up with at that point, and it was in her songs, was intellectual intercourse. And the conversations we'd have at that table, they became not my lyrics, but they became her lyrics for what became Jagged Little Pill soon after. So it wasn't during the writing session so much. It was just taking the stories and almost like getting permission. Once you had permission to go, well, you're talking about something going, is this an interesting topic, or is this an interesting experience that I've been through? Because this is what happened. I don't know, to me, it just put a drum beat to that and it sounds like a song. And then her finished album was sound like a diary with some pop production.
It's huge.
And yeah, sometimes the song ideas come out of, off the golf course in between holes.
I'll tell you what, if you sit in the bar and you keep your ears open, people will give you the greatest titles.
Yeah.
I've heard it, I've always got my ears open in the bar because a guy who's a plumber will say something and you think, wow, give me a piece of paper and a pen, please.
Come on.
Write it down.
I remember you telling me this story about you and Roger Greenaway in London getting into a cab or getting out of a cab, and it was raining, believe it or not, in London. But he said something, looks like that rainy day feeling again, and you said, do you mind if I write that? And he said, go ahead.
That was actually Tony McCauley.
Oh, was it Tony? Okay.
We'd had lunch together. He said, I thought something. He said, looking outside, he said, why, here comes that rainy day feeling. I went, yeah. Let me run with that for a little while. And I went and I wrote basically most of the song. And I got with Tony, and he said, it needs a bridge, doesn't it? I said, yeah, thank God for that. I got something to do. And he came up and we worked on the bridge together. Whenever I see Tony, and I haven't seen him in years actually, he'll always say, hey, thanks for writing that song that we wrote.
Yeah. Well, Nashville they call it add a word, get a third.
There you go.
There's something nice about that. Just walking into a room and you're not, and this is purely a Nashville thing in my experience, where you walk into a room and you just know it's a three-way. It's going to be a three-way or a two-way. Let's get that business out of the way. Let's just go write a song. I can't say I've had the same experience when I've written like pop music or with LA writers. It's a different ecosystem. This is where I've lost friends. I've lost, business relationships where people have been, oh, well, I wrote the T and the H in the word the, and you wrote E. So, and then I've heard of situations where they've got like a little assistant sitting in the writing session with 4 or 5 people from the publisher or the
Making
record,
sure, yeah,
taking notes who wrote what. Like, you want to talk about kill the vibe. This is when when you're doing it for the wrong reasons. And this is where, if we were getting paid properly, from the beginning, and we were in control of our rights and our rates, and not Washington, we probably wouldn't have to. You see those situations where they're beating each other up for nine-way co-writes and 15-way co-writes. It still boggles my mind that the copyright board in Washington dictates our mechanical royalty rates and that kind of thing. Like, I can't. I think minimum wage. The government controls minimum wage, and then maybe a court reporter, and there's maybe 2 or 3 entities, and one of them is songwriters whose income is set by Washington, D.C., and we're in the land of capitalism and free market.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah, that gets to me as well. But I don't fight it. Just 'cause I'm too busy writing songs.
Yeah, and there are people that are much better at that, but I think we have a great opportunity and a great vehicle here with like podcasts. This podcast is going to live on for forever.
That's awesome.
Someone can listen to this 20 years from now and go, well, you know what? I'm going to own my own songs because I listened to Roger and Terry, how they did it. And I'm going to take that route where before no one else was telling them that. I've had friends walk into publishing negotiations and say, if you bring a lawyer in, the deal's off the table. And they signed it. And then they signed away some of their writer's share. And this is after they've had a university education and multiple #1 hits in the past, and they're still signing those shitty contracts.
Yeah, because we don't bother to learn to read those contracts, You sign it because you're already feeling important, like you're feeling important because you're signing a piece of paper. What are you going to do?
Well, the nice thing now, like you said, the thing that is kind of a pain in the ass that everybody can make music is 11 million artists just on Spotify alone. Over 11 million, and there's like 120,000 songs or something a day getting uploaded to the internet on these DSPs. So what I try to tell artists is say, and you have zero competition because there's only one you.
That's it.
But only if you're writing and creating from a place that's unique. If you start writing based on what this publisher's looking for and what this label's, we need an up-tempo beer song about blah, blah.
Same as last.
Yeah, same as last.
I've seen that so many times on a piece of paper. What are you looking for? Same as last.
Yeah.
Shoo.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
How hard could it be? They're 3 minutes long. That's what
Yeah, well, hey, it's changed. It's not changing for the better. It's changed. But I still, like I said, I'm still getting paid because I'll write 2 or 3 songs a week. And there's always one line I think, yes, You still got it, old son.
Well, it's like golfing, right? You just hit that one shot, just enough to come back and pay the green fees again.
Just one down the middle.
That's all you need.
Wow, that's over 200 yards. I do it for the sheer pleasure of it now. I still write with, I've been writing with Dan Ahlberg, It's great, the Black Keys.
Oh, no kidding.
Dan Ahlberg. He has his own label, and he's put out 2 or 3 things that we've written together. So I'm still writing with people who can help,
Absolutely.
But I don't go into a studio or somebody's living room now thinking, we got to write a hit today.
Right.
Let's write a song. And if we get it right, it can be a hit,
Yeah, that's Paul Anka said. We had Matt Dusk and I had the pleasure of going out for dinner with him a few times. I mean, very few people have written every artist their biggest song of their career. He probably wrote it back in the day. Sinatra, Elvis.
Oh, he was huge. His own career was
his own career
huge.
too. And he just said, Terry, not every song needs to be a hit. Just go in and there's so much pressure from the business. I got to say, I've learned so much, obviously, from being in Nashville and the writing and the craft kind of thing. But I have to say that one of the least creative environments that I've felt is being in Nashville as well. There's something different about being in Canada, and probably maybe the same in the UK, where you're away from everything and you're kind of free to just be you.
Yeah.
And do your thing.
Do your own thing.
Yeah, Canada's like 4% of the world music market, and almost every biggest artist in every genre is Canadian. And at least the top 3. And I mean every genre. You can pick new age music, Lorena McKenna, take adult contemporary, Michael Bublé. Like the Brits, it's like they punch above their weight. They have to get out of their own country and then get noticed on the international floor, but they don't realize that they were working 3 times harder than everybody else. But you don't have this pressure of write me a hit or Luke Bryan needs this or that. So there is that comes with a major music center, which is great because it strengthens you and it makes you a better crafted artist. But I think it's so important that at least somewhere in your life that you had an experience or an era where you were just allowed to just be you outside of music industry stuff and just have fun. I think it's important.
Well, I know in England, in a way, Roger and I were never competing with anyone. Now, here in Nashville, songwriters do compete with other songwriters to get that radio slot, And I understand it in this business, and good luck to all the young writers out there at the moment, because it's a tough business. But I'll write one for the radio, or hopefully, and I'll write one for me. And I've never stopped writing for me, knowing darn well I'm probably not going to get a record, on it. I just wrote a song called Hello Hard On. And it's a real good little song.
If I had $1.
Where you been, I've been waiting on your sorry ass since God knows when.
Oh, my God.
But I know it's not going to get cut, but I had to write it because it was amusing and it just made me feel real good. I got some great lines in the song.
Oh, my God.
And I tell people, sometimes they say, have you got any tips for young writers? And I'll say, yeah, write one for the radio and write one for you. Turn your heart on.
One for my baby and one, what was the Sinatra lyric? One for my baby and one for...
One more for the road.
One more for the road.
Yeah.
You wrote a song that... I'll be honest, I want to cut it, and I wish there was a way to kind of finish it too. I don't know. You think there's a second verse that you didn't write a second verse for it? We were working on a song, and then at your house, and for whatever reason, this song came up, and you played me the recording of it, or you played it on the piano for me, and then you sent me the recording. I think that was the solo stuff that you did that George Martin produced, but the song was called Chances Are.
Oh, no, that was...
I don't know if George produced it, but it was...
Chances are we're going to stay together. Things are looking up when you're not crying. Yeah, that song. That was a good song.
Every time we try to
make up, it's a sign we're sure... No, every time we try to break up, it's a sign we're sure to make up. Oh, it only goes to show... The chances are we'll be just you and me. Yeah.
I called your answering machine for the next 3 days after that song, and I left long messages on your machine. I don't know if you remember this. That song affected me so much. The simplicity and I don't know if the pathos is the right word, but there was something so powerfully simple about that. It literally, I either wanted to my cat came to visit us.
Well, hello.
That's one half of tomato and tomato. That is tomato. I think I wanted to either quit songwriting or start working twice as hard at it that day. And I left messages on your answering machine for 3 days straight with just ranting about this damn song. And I couldn't believe it. It reminded me of just Dylan in a way that was just like so powerfully simple, and the melody, especially in the verse.
Kitty, my wife, loves that song.
Oh my God! I have to
play
record
it for her every
that.
now and again.
I have to record. I have it. I have the MP3 on my computer. You gave it to me years ago. Like I won't give it back. And you said there was no. It just went into like a instrumental.
It was part of two songs I put together that I linked them. I can't remember the other song momentarily, but
like Abbey Road, like was fused together on side
I put two songs together. It was on an album of mine called All Right, which I cut here. My very first trip to Nashville. I came up here for a week. That's right. Stayed 50 odd years. But I came up and I met this guy Charles Cochran, and I sat down with these musicians, and they said, "Play us a song." So I got my ukulele and I played it to them. And I came to the end of the song and they said, "Well, let's go and do it." And I thought, it can't be that easy. The numbers system.
Oh,
They
yeah.
just write down the numbers.
Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing. Anyway, that song was on that session. It was an album I made for Warner Brothers.
That changed my life. That just, like I said, it either made me want to quit or work twice as hard. But what was the Bob Dylan song? When the rain is blowing in the wind. To Make You Feel My Love, which was just an album cut on that album that Daniel Lanois
I love these
produced.
simple songs.
It's so simply said, and it is the most difficult songs to write. And to me, the greatest songwriters are able to do this. And to me, that was literally, it's like the measuring stick for simplicity. And I was beside myself when you played that for me on piano, and it really messed me up for like 3 days.
Well, I'm sorry
In
about
a good
that.
way, in a bad way, and all of it. And I just thought, I mean, anyway, so it's amazing the impact that you've made on me, just personally as a friend, and musically, it's
And my golfing, you know.
mostly that's how not to hit a wedge from
Yeah, don't do
From
what you
110.
did there.
and there's also all the musical failures you've had. Of course, you failed trying not to get into the Songwriters Hall of Fame. You failed miserably, and you got in. You failed trying to stay out of you're the first British citizen to be in the Nashville songwriting. So you failed. You failed
was
staying out of that too.
Yeah. I wasn't trying hard. It just happened.
Yeah. Most importantly, I'd love for you to get the old uke out here, especially the one from John Prine, and of all the songs. Hang on, let me hand this to you, and I'll let you do what you want with it, because this thing's, I don't even want to touch it. It's gonna be, that'll be sitting in the Country Music Hall of Fame someday. I'm sure. You know what? And I gotta buy one. I have to get one, because again, back to the simplicity and just mobility of carrying a.
Oh, there's my dope.
Oh, it's actually just a cover for the dope. It's not really a ukulele case. But, one of my favorite songs, definitely growing up, and I couldn't believe when I heard that you wrote it, was A Long Cool Woman in a Black Dress.
Yeah. Now, that was written on the piano.
I know. I remember you saying that, which is crazy.
I had this cack-handed way of playing the piano, because I'm a one-handed kind of piano player, of moving my thumb up and down. Da-da-da-da-da-da. That's where that came from.
Right.
That was... I got to do it on the ukulele like that.
That's
'Cause
crazy.
I do have to perform it on the ukulele.
Yeah, because you do a lot of writers' rounds still. You still go
Yeah.
out and perform, and people want to hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That should never go away. And these are the crazy songwriter questions, but what's your favorite song that you've written?
My favorite song will always be You Got Your Troubles, I Got Mine, because one minute I was broke, stony broke. And like I said, next minute I'm thinking, what kind of car do I want to drive?
Isn't that crazy?
It just changed my life, that one song. And it was the very first song Roger and I ever sat down and wrote. We probably only wrote about 20 songs together, but that was a very important one. And I had songs that were probably better songs, but nothing that hits my heart in the same way as You Got Troubles.
You mind playing a little bit of that for us?
Yeah. Is this coming through?
Yeah, that's close enough. Yeah.
I see that worried look upon your face. You got your troubles, I got mine. She's found somebody else to take your place. You got your troubles, I got mine. I too have lost my love today. All of my dreams have flown away. Now just like you, I sit and wonder why. You got your troubles, I got mine.
Beautiful. Sorry, I had to video.
They made a
some of
lovely
that.
record of it, actually. But those days, again, another great thing about being a songwriter in those days and having a big hit is everybody went in the studio and cut that song. People like Nancy Wilson, Sammy Davis Jr., Neil Diamond, Brenda Lee, a ton of people, big stars cut the song.
So you had multiple cuts.
That doesn't happen anymore.
That doesn't happen as
if you
much
have a
now.
Garth Brooks hit now, chances are it's the only time your song's going to get cut, you know?
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know why that is. That was definitely a big thing back in the day, especially the days of Sinatra.
Yeah, the Four Seasons, they cut it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What's his name? That singer?
It's just one big cash cow, that song.
Oh man, I haven't even started with some of the names that cut that song. It's just unbelievable, and that doesn't happen anymore.
No,
that's gone, and that's why they were wonderful days to be a songwriter and have a hit record. Wow.
Well, Ralph used to say, and it was Harlan Howard, your good buddy Harlan, when he first started, Ralph was saying, there was 15 writers in town. They were getting all the work.
Yeah, well, when I came to town in 75, there was 800 registered songwriters in Nashville. Now there must be 10,000.
Oh, there's 20,000 easy. There was 10,000 when I moved here, Ralph said.
It was about 800 when I came to town in 75. And that's a lot of writers.
Yeah.
In London, we weren't looking at 800 songwriters in those days.
Well, the interesting thing now is you can record, on your laptop or your studio setup, put it up on a DSP, and you've got music released all over the world. When we first started, if you didn't have $3,000 to go into a full-blown recording studio to record 3 songs, and it used to be, and I was an engineer for 15 years, so the regular routine was you came in for a few days, for $1,500 to record, and then a couple of days to mix. It was $3,000, and you had your 4-song cassette, and then you try to get it to some A&R people and hope that they would like some songs or find a reason to come out and see one of your shows, and if they liked it, they'll come and see a second show, and then they would kind of make their decision. And then you either had a career or you didn't. Now, you don't need anybody. You can put your music out, and there are people there whose YouTube channels are, and I'm not kidding, they're making $200,000 a week off their YouTube channel.
And that's something.
So there are so many different ways now to make things happen, as long as you look at it in that light.
I think I should put Hello Hard on that and YouTube.
Can you play some of that? I'm sure that'll bring a tear to
people will look at the title and think, I got to hear that just once,
I'm sure it brings a tear to a wooden eye.
Hello, hard on. Where you been? I've been waiting on your sorry ass since God knows when. The promise of a romance came to a sloppy end. Hello, hard on. Screw you. my friend. And then he goes, bonjour, Boner. And hola, Stiffy. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Well, I should probably put that on YouTube.
I mean, it's recorded. We could have this up on Spotify by the end of the day if you want. So there you go.
That's funny.
Out the new EP. Well, talking about writing again. I mean, I just writing because you love it. So often, it's almost like you put your game face on. You're going out. You're about to lose your publishing deal, or it's coming up soon, and you need to have some. You're always kind of performing, with some kind of stress on you. Sometimes that's good, but I've found that the best songs come when you just say, fuck it, this is what I would do. When I had a country song and put a hip hop beat and an R&B beat, and I'm going to get thrown out of town. And it changed my life. And I just said, you know what would that kid sitting back in Toronto or back in my basement in Espinal, Ontario, what would he do to this song? He would tell everyone to fuck off, and he would do this. Okay, let's do that. Because what are they going to do? Say no again, like they did to the last 15 songs that were on hold over the last couple of years? So just be you, and you might as well fail being you.
Why don't you come out to my place and just sit down at my dining room table, my kitchen table?
Twist my arm. You still have that old piano?
Oh, yeah.
Good. I love that room.
Yeah, that.
Absolutely. Name the day.
Little Steinway.
Roger doesn't use GPS. I literally gave him directions to the house, like over the phone. He writes them down. There is something to that. And it's a blessing that you do things in you maintain doing things in such an old-fashioned way.
Keep the old gray matter alive.
Well, Einstein, remember the stories with him? He would forget his wallet or his phone number. He would forget everything because he said, I don't have the mind capacity to remember all these things. I need my mind for being creative and for these solutions. And I think it was Flaubert that said, it's important to be ordinary and regular in our everyday life so that we can be absolutely violent in our art.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that you do extremely well, where, most artists are either on some kind of neurodiversity spectrum, ADHD. I know I am ADHD or dyslexia or autism or something like that. You have to be one of the most normal songwriter artists that I've ever run with such a calm, whatever normal means, but such a calm disposition, and you really, truly love what you do. You truly love life. I feel healthier when I'm around you. I feel more relaxed. I feel more creative.
I didn't mean to start that.
Yeah, well, this is you started it. Tag, you're it. But anyway, it's just been an absolute pleasure having you here and just chit-chatting and
I've enjoyed it, man. I really get off on talking about myself.
Enough about me. How about you talk about me?
Yeah, yes. It's a great old line.
You share, and this doesn't have to go on the podcast if you don't want it to, but you shared this with me one time, saying how either was your BMI or ASCAP, they send you the same check every year since the 70s, the same total, more or less. What are the odds that every song you ever wrote
wasn't played more or less? I know. I told it was Roger Sovine, he was working at BMI at the time. One day I said to him, Roger, the last 3 or 4 checks I've had from BMI have just been for the same amount of money. He said, no, that can't be right. I said, oh yeah, I can show you. I never heard another word from him. It embarrassed him. And the fact is, BMI were allocating so much to you, and that's what they paid you.
So this is an interesting topic of, I call it market share. So everything, and this goes with radio play as well. You don't get paid for every time your song's on the radio. You're getting paid a portion of a piece of the pie. Same thing with Spotify, DSPs.
The old days.
Yeah. Now we're in the world of blockchain technology, AI technology, all these new technologies, and we're still getting paid on the system of this bar's paying a music license every year. They probably played a Beatles song, so we're just going to send the check to Lennon and McCartney. Spotify, instead of, or anyone, any DSP, instead of paying you for the actual amount of spins that you have, it's like, well, the portion's sort of controlled mostly by the major publishers and major labels, so it was probably their artist that got it. So we're just going to send, and both you and I benefit from this, and we're very grateful for it. But I would like to see in the future, because it really helps the up-and-coming songwriter artists to actually get paid for what they did. So I say this to some young artists, and they don't like hearing it, but I said, you're going to go out and have a bunch of success as an unknown new artist on Apple Music or Spotify, and you're going to get 1 million streams and wondering why you're not getting paid. And why you're not getting paid is because I'm getting paid. It's because Roger Cook's getting paid. It's because Lennon McCartney's getting paid. And that's not right. They're going to have to find a fairer way to get everybody some, paid for what was actually played. And you're going to see that in the next round. This is probably not your union, but right now, this internet that we're on now is basically Web 2.0. The next version coming is called Web 3. And it's going to have things like the blockchain, and it's going to be able to eliminate intermediaries out of your life so that, as an example, somebody in India you got your trouble, they hit play in India on Spotify, and literally within 24 hours, the money's in your account in Nashville. That's where we're headed.
Why shouldn't it be like that?
Oh, because it's a market share control, right? So if you...
It's bull feathers.
It's how the game is set up. So it's about controlling market share. So you've got black box money and all these unpaid royalties and all that kind of stuff. This is what's going to get sorted out. And you know what? Artists now, they don't even have to use Spotify or Apple Music to put their music out. They can just put it out from their website or their own private portal and get, like what we used to get, 10 cents a download for your song, and you sold 1 million records, and those 3 writers are split $95,000. Now 1 million might get you, lunch money.
I know. Greed.
Yeah.
There's a certain amount of greed involved here.
Yeah.
And I remember John and I wrote that #1 for George Strait. I Just Want to Dance With You.
Oh, yeah.
A big hit for 3 weeks at #1.
Yeah.
His manager came to us and said, we want to put that on his next golden hits, dozen golden hits. Fine. Well, we want 50% of the publishing on that, Mechanicals. I said to John, what do you think, John? He said, no. I said, no. So they left it off the album.
Took it off the album. Yep.
That's a big
fuck you. Yep.
Greed is just...
That's what I'm hoping to help change, or at least educate the next generation to make these decisions for themselves.
Well, the truth is, creators are often not very good business people anyway.
That's my point. We don't have that muscle memory. We don't. So that's what I'm hoping.
We don't care enough.
You want to spend the time on music. That's what you want to do. But to me, if you're not being fearless in how you manage your business, see, most of us are at least gotten through high school or university, that kind of thing, but we can't seem to split the song in two for some reason. That's just too difficult. Oh, I don't do that publishing stuff, and that's my manager does all that. Yeah, and that's why he's driving a Bentley and you're on a moped or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Now, you don't have to become a lawyer and know everything about everything, but you have to understand the business enough to make conscious decisions and understand the value of a song and you owning it. This is what the new generation.
Hopefully this podcast will help with the education of some of those young writers.
I hope so.
It's changed. It was so black and white when I started off, It's not black and white anymore. And we got cheated because of it, Roger and I, We lost a lot of money for a long time that we should have been getting. I had another huge hit back then, and this is the same thing, Mills Music, a song called Greengrass that Gary Lewis and the Playboys. Right. Anyways, big hit again. That was with Mills Music, and again, that was a song I wrote one night and woke up in the morning and wrote it down, but it came under Cook Greenaway. But Mills Music America sent just 50% of the income to England. They kept 50%, the head company, and Mills Music gave us half of what we should have been receiving, And that was, oh man. Roger learned very quickly. He actually got in touch with me. He got that redressed in the end.
Good.
I would never have caught up on that one.
writers don't even understand like the administration world. Like when you write a song, it's played in your country. To collect your royalties, they might say you just have an administration deal. They say, well, we're only going to take 10% of your royalties for collecting them here in America. But to go get them in Japan, we're going to charge 35%, except the people in Japan have already charged 35% to hand them over to the... So now you're at 65% administration fees and you haven't even received your check yet. And then your publisher goes, well, hold on. Only half of that's yours. The other half is mine. God, at some point, am I going to owe somebody for writing this hit song?
I wrote a big hit and I owe a lot of money.
I owe a lot of money.
Woo! That's funny. That's funny. Oh, well.
Well, thanks, mate. I really appreciate you taking the time, and who knows, maybe we'll get you back in another time for a part 2 or something. And
it's great to connect again, man.
It's so nice to see you. It's been
and I'm going to give you a call. And, we fix it if you want to just come out to my place.
Hell yeah!
Because I love writing at my table in front of the window.
Yes, I love writing at your place. It's just it's a great vibe, and you still got the little pool house, the pool out back, and all that.
Yeah. I'll die there.
That's
not this week, but I'm not going to leave there. I love it. Thank you, mate. Well, I guess I'm done.
We're done. We're going to sign off, and I just want to thank Mr. Cook, his lovely ukulele, and thank you all for listening to Sold for a Song.
Thank you.
If today's episode lit a fire in you, don't let it fade. Subscribe to Sold for a Song, leave a review, and be the spark that helps others discover their own worth. And if you're ready to go deeper, my upcoming book, The Sold for a Song Academy, and one-on-one mentoring are all waiting for you inside my private portal. Visit TerranceSawchuk.com. Let's build this movement together.